We all play roles to fit in. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. We just know what's expected and then we become it. In 1999, the New Orleans Saints traded away their entire draft class to get Ricky Williams. He was a Heisman winner, record breaker, literally the kind of player that could change a franchise overnight. So he did what anyone would do. He signed the deal, he put on the jersey, and he tried to live up to the hype. But the more he played that role, the role of the superstar, the savior, the face of the team, the more he lost himself. Because Ricky wasn't actually comfortable in that role. It wasn't really him. And by 2004, he couldn't do it anymore. He walked away. Fans called him selfish, but for Ricky, that was literally the first time he actually stopped trying to fit the mold and chose himself instead. And even now, still, you see it. Different name, same story. Lane Johnson. He's one of the strongest, most dependable linemen in the NFL. And he knew what his role was. His role was the same thing that, in a way, Ricky Williams' was. To be the quiet leader, the anger, the one that everyone could lean on. And so he played his role too, day after day, season after season. And the whole time, he was crumbling inside. When he finally decided to take a break and step away back in 2021, he decided to focus on his mental health. He actually said, and this is a real quote, "It's hard when you're expected to be the strong one, the dependable one, but inside, you're falling apart. You feel like you can't speak up because you'll let everyone down." And that's what playing a role does to you. It kind of convinces you that your worth depends on how well you meet everyone else's expectations. That you have to shrink yourself or dim your light, silence yourself, and perform just to belong or for safety. But you don't. They're both sides of the same survival coin. You deserve to be more than the role you've been given. You deserve to be you. I know that feeling too. I've worn the mask. I've lived it too. It's something that so many women carry silently. So allow me to be the one to say it out loud so you can finally put it down. This episode is titled Playing to Please. I'm Tajane, and this is Halftime Girl. Recently, I remembered the password to my old Tumblr. And if you don't remember what Tumblr is or don't really know anything about it, it was like this app for aesthetically pleasing photos and a sort of hub for movie and TV fandoms, as well as a place for angsty teenagers just to find themselves and write out their opinions and feelings about life. And I went back years. I was just trying to piece together exactly where it was that I lost that essence that we were talking about last episode. And it kind of felt like I was taking a trip through a time machine, rediscovering parts of myself that I'd forgotten even existed. I discovered old poems I'd written, and I don't even remember writing poetry. But I also discovered the fact that I was playing roles long before I was fully even aware of it. I would sit there and read, and I found, stuff about how I was super stressed in college and majorly depressed. But on the outside, I played the role of the always peppy, outgoing friend without a care in the world because it makes those around me happy. And that's an actual quote I wrote. That's how I felt at 19 years old. So I was aware of the role that I was expected to play, but because it pleased everyone around me, I kept to it. I even found this one line that I scribbled in a poem. "You are your own worst enemy." At the time, I just thought I was being deep. I thought it meant that I was being hard on myself. I didn't actually realize it was pointing to the fact that I was the one putting the costume on, that I was the one holding up the mask, just as much as I was resenting it. So let me let you in on a little something. Performing keeps the peace, but it costs you your personhood. So if you're listening to this and you're realizing there are roles that you've been playing, maybe for years, that just don't fit anymore, I want to offer you a few tools. And this is not to fix you, but it's to free you. Because the truth is, healing the inner girl who learned to perform isn't about becoming someone new. It's about letting her finally be herself. So first, name the role out loud. Write it down or whisper it if you really have to. But you can't drop what you haven't named. The strong one, the always happy one, the overachiever, whatever it is, just say it, get it out. Because when you name the mask, that's when you start to loosen its grip. Second, talk to your inner girl. Grab a journal and ask her, what did you need back then you didn't get? What do you want me to know now? And then let her answer. Let her be honest. And once she speaks, respond. But let the you of today speak to her. Speak back to her softly, just like a big sister or a safe friend. That's where the healing begins. Third, pick a new belief. Every role is built on a belief that you had to be a certain way to be loved, accepted, or safe. So once you see that belief, you get to choose a new one. So if your old belief is, if I'm not perfect, I'm a failure, let your new belief be, I am allowed to grow and still be worthy. Write it on a sticky note. Say it out loud. Let it live with you. I have sticky notes everywhere. On my bedside table, bathroom mirror, all over my notebook. Just mantras, ideas, affirmations, you name it, I've got it. But let it always be around you so that it becomes a part of your daily beliefs and routines. And finally, just do one brave thing as your real self. Just one. Speak your truth in a text. Show up without the performance. Say no. Say yes. Ask for what you need. Something small, something true, something free from that old role. And let me say, just for the record, we're not shaming those roles. In no way is that anything that we're doing, because some of them probably helped you get through some really hard times in your life. We're just releasing the ones that we've outgrown, that no longer serve us. Because that's how we begin again. Not by becoming someone else, but by coming home to who we always were. The thing about roles is they'll always be available to you. The role will always have a jersey waiting, a title, a mask, a mold. But that doesn't mean you have to wear it. Ricky walked away when the pressure became too loud. Lane finally spoke up when the silence was no longer safe. And maybe for you, this is that moment too. You don't have to be the strong one, the perfect one, the one who never breaks. You just have to be the one who's brave enough to come back to herself. You don't owe anyone a performance. But you do owe yourself the truth. And the moment you stop performing, that right there is the moment you start living. So before I close, I'm adding a new little segment I've started calling a halftime girl moment. And it isn't about a big win or a perfect play. It's just the pause itself. It's like that breath where you notice where you really are, on your own field. Whether you just made a bold move or You're still standing in the locker room trying to figure out your next one. So if you feel called to, send me yours. Email me. Tell me your story. I want to hear from you. Where are you at in your life? And why do you feel like you're stuck at halftime? Whether the moment's big, small, messy, still in motion, what matters is that it's yours. What matters is that you claim it. So feel free, as per usual, to shoot me a DM of your mantras, any of your prompts that you've been using so far. We're now on episode 3, so there's been a different couple prompts out there. I want to know if you're using them, how you feel over time using them so far. Every little bit of progress that you make, has to be celebrated like you won the Super Bowl. All these little moments, even if it's just you deciding, okay, I'm going to put my foot down on something that you've shied away from doing. Or if you decide, you feel like you're dimming your light to please others, maybe you stop dimming a little bit and, put a little suntan lotion on that, let it glow. I want to hear all those kinds of moments. So please don't think that I'm just saying that. I fully do want to hear from you. Just know that, when you finally stop performing, everything that you can ever dream of will be possible for you once you're your authentic self. And this is how we get back there. Follow, listen, subscribe, and make sure you tune in next episode. Because next episode, we're talking about what happens after the mask comes off. Like I said, when you stop performing, there's this little quiet moment where you kind of wonder, who am I without all of that? And we think that we need to reinvent ourselves. But what if the answer isn't a rebrand? What if it's a return? A return to the you that existed before the performance, before the pressure, before the world told you who to be. That's where we're headed next. So make sure you tune in. Till next time, Halftime Girl out.